All right, welcome back. So, our next part of completing the square is what we call, we're looking at our vertex form. And so this is a form, it's kind of like the point slope form for when we were talking about linear functions, but this is for quadratics. And what it does is it tells us the vertex without us having to do, if it's given to us in vertex form, it tells us the vertex without us having to do much math. We can use completing the square to put things in vertex form. So vertex form, it's going to make me go back, but there we go. Vertex form is y equals x minus our h, and then I made that a b, that was my fault, h, quantity squared plus k. So the vertex is our h comma our k. Now our k will be whatever the sign goes with it. So if it's a -3, then this is a -3 here, or a -3 here. The h, on the other hand, because it is opposite h, then if this is a positive, what I pull out is a negative. If this is the negative, like it should be, or like it shows here, then I'm pulling out a positive. And then the other thing just to note is that h is the horizontal shift, and k is the vertical shift. So from that origin, like that parent function, this is how the h is how we moved left or right from the origin, and the k is our up or down from the origin. So find the vertex of y equals x squared plus 6x plus 8. Now you may go, but Mrs. Cartwright, we can do the opposite b over 2a. You're right, but it wants us to use our lovely completing the square. So what we're going to do, right, I am going to move this 8 to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. Okay, once I have done that, I now have y minus 8 plus my blank, right, because I have to add it to both sides of the equation, equals x squared plus 6x plus blank. And now I need to find my new c. So remember, we find c by taking, c is b divided by 2 quantity squared. And so my b is 6. So I'm going to have 6 divided by 2 squared, which is 3 squared, which equals 9. So I'm going to add 9 to both places. Once I have added my 9, over here I'm going to simplify, so we'll have y plus 1. Over here I'm going to make this that quantity squared. I'm going to have the x in front, the middle, the sign of b is the sign for my quantity here, my factor, and then my value right here, right? The square root of 9, which is 3. So x plus 3 quantity squared, and that is our start, right? But I want the vertex. I've got to put this in that, in that vertex form. So I've got to move it to where y is by itself. So I'm going to subtract 1. So now I'm going to have y equals x plus 3 quantity squared minus 1. That is my vertex form. So from there, I just need my h, which is the middle, but remember it's the opposite if I'm taking it out of that parentheses, so it's going to be a -3. And then my k, which is whatever sign it is, in this case a -1, and that's my vertex. And so really the biggest math that we're doing is that b divided by 2 squared. That's the biggest math that we're doing. I do have one last problem for us. I'm going to do that in a separate video, and it's going to be the word problem and how we set that up, so that I have more than enough time to talk about why we're adding or doing whatever we have to do with these x's. So I'll see you there.